Welcome to Dave's Care Garage. U-joints, 3 ways. Stand by. Let me show you 3 different ways to do this. The first one's going to be with really simple tools. This is what you're going to need. Hammer, pair of needle nose. You can get away with regular pliers. A socket. For me, I need 3/4. I'll show you what the deal is. And a wrench. And I'm going to use these ratcheting wrenches because they're just easier to use. Regular wrench is all you need. You need a wrench to take out your drive shaft. That's basically it there. Of course, this is extra. It's something you don't have to do unless you got a leak. If you got a leak in your rear transmission seal, you might want to put a new transmission seal. We're going to do that. So what you got is, I always buy these things. Moog makes really good products. They're high quality. They all come with grease fittings. You'll find that when you take the originals out, they generally don't have grease fittings. So this is what you get. It comes in a box like that. It's all covered up. And you get this, and you got your parts. Right there's where you're going to put your grease fitting so that you can grease these, which just makes it really nice. Okay, and then what else you have is this. I got 4 clips. Come on now. 4 clips and a grease fitting. These clips will hold in the U-joint. This is your universal joint here. And this we're going to pop in here like this. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in right now. Of course, you're going to need something to do that with. It's not a big deal. Not sure the size. We'll figure that out. Bigger than that. It looks like we're looking at an 8. So I'm just going to tighten that down. I'm telling you, you don't have a set of these, you can get a set. And we're just going to snug it in there like that. That was a 8. You know, you got to figure out what size you have. Oh, there you go. You're ready to go. All right, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to chalk this wheel. Because, and you should always do that. Because when you go taking that drive shaft out, you pop the drive shaft, all of a sudden, the truck's rolling away and it's rolling over top of you and you're winding up crippled or dead. So make sure you always chalk your wheel. And I want to put it in neutral so that the transmission will turn when I go to put the drive shaft back in. That way it'll be easier for me to get the drive shaft in. I'll show you why. So always chalk your wheel. I'm taking all the wrenches on there. I'm not sure what size it was. I know I saw the size when I tightened it up that time when we had the clunk in the trunk, but take on to figure out which one it is. There's several different ways that drive shafts are connected. This one is a slip up. It has a slip up joint on the front. I'll show you what that is. And it's bolted on the back. Older cars like the 65 Mustang, it's got a slip up joint, but where it's bolted on, it actually has a U-bolt that goes through the yoke. So let's say this is the U-joint, and this U-bolt goes through it, and you put a couple bolts on it, and you tighten. That's how it holds in. You saw earlier, and I'll show you again, this has got 2 like pieces, I don't know what you want to call them, that clamp the U-joint onto the yoke. On the newer cars, generally, they got like a slip-up joint built into the drive shaft to move back and forth, and they're bolted directly to the rear and to the transmission. With this, like I said, it's a slip-up joint. I'll show you just what that is. On the back side here, if you see, I was completely wrong. This is actually a flange style, where these bolts hold this onto the flange rather than a yoke. There's a flange, and this is all one. All right. So these 4 bolts will come out, and that'll take that out. On the newer cars, it's like this on this side and on the transmission side. Now, on this old truck, what we have here is a slip-up joint. If you see this here, and I'll show it to you after I get it out, exactly what it is. This slides up into the transmission onto a spline, and that's where everything moves back and forth. The rest of the shaft is flat, and then of course here's your U-joints. So that's how it goes together. So let's pull this drive shaft out of here. All right, these guys are 12 points, so you need a 12-point wrench to get it out. You can do a regular wrench, which case, let's seem to find in the right size. I don't know why. That was a 13. That's because it's a 12, and of course, people drive me crazy with this. Okay, this I don't care what brand you get. Well, maybe if you get something like Snapple, but it doesn't have a 12. 12 is just slightly off from a 1/2 inch. And when you're talking about 12 point, it's got to be the right size. All right, so I got a regular 12 wrench. Hopefully I can bust them loose and then use the off size on the ratcheting wrenches, because these bolts take forever to get out otherwise. Yep, fits like a glove. So when these bolts came loose and I had the clunk in the trunk, I put them back in. I put them in with red Loctite because I didn't want them coming back out. So these suckers are really in here. They didn't come out, that's for sure. So I'm grabbing a hammer and pounding on the wrench to try to get these stupid bolts to get out of here. The 2 bottom ones, I was able to get them loose pretty good. But once I got to the top ones, I didn't have room to swing the hammer. I hit my damn finger, and I hate when I do that. So what I did was I went up and I got the jack handle, and I put the jack handle on that sucker, and that broke them loose. And once I got them broke loose, I took the ratcheting wrench to make it easier to get them out, because they're long bolts, and backed them all out so that I could get this end of the drive shaft off. All right. Now that they're off, I can use the wrong size ratchet wrench to get them out. Sometimes you might need a screwdriver or something to get up there and pry this off of here, because but up here, since this has been down, it comes right loose. All right, to prove to you how easy this is, I'm gonna do this one in the grass. Then I'll probably move to another place, but yeah. The only thing about this is that you need a place piece of wood, something to set your stuff on, because you don't want stuff all up in this bearing, that's for sure. You want this to be kept clean. There's my clips right there, so I don't lose them. All right, I will start off. Either end doesn't matter. These bearings don't seem to be bad, but I see no grease fittings. That means this is original, which I figured it was. So, you know, like a block of wood here. And right here are these clips. That's these guys here. And so you want to get those clips out of there. I'm just going to take my needle nose there, squeeze it like that. Might have to go get my screwdriver. So all you do is you get those clips like that, and once you get them in there right, you should be able to pop it right out. And that's a clip that holds that in. I'll pop that one out, turn this baby over, and we're gonna do the same thing on this side here. Just gonna squeeze that together and work my way out until I get at least part of it out. This thing can be a little difficult. There we go, just like that. Get rid of these old ones, so you wouldn't want to be you. Now, got this set on there. There's my socket. Pop it right there, and hopefully this will work. Yep, she's coming out. Now, when you get to a certain point, right here, you have to move the shaft up onto here so that you can actually push it all the way through. Now, bring that through like that, all the way. Once we get it there, then I can come over here. I can pull that cap off just like that. That felt a little crunchy. Once I get that cap off, then I can take this whole thing out of here. Usually. Let's get it just right. Let's see. The other thing you do is drive it back through the other way, but if you work with it, it'll come right off there. They feel a little crunchy. They're not terribly crunchy, but if you look at that, that's pretty nasty inside there. So what's in here are needle bearings. Yeah, and they don't want to move that. Yeah, these are ready to be replaced, no doubt. All right. We'll pop them off there like that. Get rid of those. These little rubber caps here, they go on here, like that. Keep the grease in. All right, now you can put the new ones in right now, or you can just finish taking it out of here, which is the smarter thing to do. All right, I'm actually gonna go get a screwdriver. All right, put that here. Sometimes better to use pliers. Sometimes better to use pliers. There like that, and just clip gone. Okay, so I gotta tell tell you. I've seen that before. That is the first for me. Yeah, it is. I like that. Either. Make sure they're the right size. They are the right size. Matter of fact, it feels slightly larger, which might be a good thing. All right. Yeah. But it says Ford right on there. These are the original. Out of the truck. So before I do anything else, I just want to clean this end up here and all the garbage off of it and out of it. Here's my truck now. The cap fits tight. And it fits tight there. Okay. Now they fit like they're supposed to. All right, so we're gonna take this apart. You want to pop your caps out. Be careful with them. You don't want dirt all in them. You don't want grass in them. Don't want anything in them. There. There. Put them down here in this bin. And there. But you do need to take them off in order to work with this. There. So now I'm going to put this here. Wait a minute. All right, we're going to put one in here, just like that. Then bring this all the way through here. I'll put this cap on, because I don't want those bearings getting all funky and getting knocked over. So I'm going to put it right there like that. There. I'm going to put this over. I'm going to hold this up on that cap. Wow. Oh. That's a precision fit. So I'll have to show you on the other one putting it back in, but we'll get this one in and get it done. All right, so it there. I've never seen one that I didn't have to drive in or drive out. This is the very first. I've seen a lot of firsts on this old beat up truck. Snap ring down there, like that. Once it's in, you just make sure it's up in there like that, which it is. Turn it over, know that that bearing is fine. Carefully put this one on. Let's just see what happens here. Let's see. Right in there like that. Now that one doesn't seem to want to go in. So now I'm just going to, I don't want to really hit on that so much. So what I can do here is let me turn this over. And there. And then I should be able to drive that in like that. Once it's in enough, now I'm not worried about losing my bearings. Turn it over here. Pop this back on here. I'm gonna tighten that down. Let me give it one more. I want it to clear the groove here where snap ring's going to hold everything in. Put that there. Just gonna push it down. It's not really in. Nope. Just snap there. There we go. Now, the snap ring is all up in there. And the lawnmower starts. All right, I cleaned this up with a little bit of 320, just put that seal on, make sure that this is nice and smooth. The ride's right about here. Okay. So like I said, everything's in there. Now we got to put this into the drive shaft. Bring you back over here, like this. Put this up in here. I wish they just finished the damn job and stop stopping and start and stop and start. I'll be back. I'll put this on here, like that, so it goes into the bearings. Turn it over like that. Now I'll whack on this. Till we get it that far. Now I'm holding up on this so that this doesn't fall out of it. You want to make sure those bearings stay straight. And we're going to turn this sucker over like this. Pull that up just a little bit because I don't want to knock any of those bearings crooked. Hold it right there. Back up, make sure that's in there straight. Just a little bit. Like I said, it may not go this smooth for you. You may have to pound on it a little bit. I'm really surprised at how this has come apart. Especially rusty as everything always is on this truck. All right. Basically, I'm driving it up against the thing on the other side. Right here, this. Go down some. So, back over here. Now, that should be about it. That seems pretty tight. Let's see if we can put this clip in. Down in there, push it that way. Give it a quick wrap like this. Don't want to go too crazy on it. So I do want to make sure that sucker's all the way up in the groove. And it's not all the way in the groove. Nope. I have trouble on this side here. Now you just want to make sure that is all the way in that groove. That was in the groove. It was in the groove. That was in the groove. And that was in the groove. Now, see this? This is tight. Not supposed to be tight, but it's because there's one more thing to do. I'm gonna whack this here, here, and now that's not loose. That's not tight anymore. Oh, now I'm gonna whack it there. Turn it over. I'm gonna whack it there. Still a little tighter than I want it. I think that's called shocking it, but now, even though it's still a little tight-ish that way, beautiful here. Let's see. It's still hanging on. All right. That'll be acceptable. Should be nice and loose. Yeah, there we good. Yep. That's how you do it with a hammer, a socket, screwdriver, pliers, and a wrench. All right, move on to a little easier way to do it, at least what I think. Well, this is unfortunate, but the drive shaft, the back U-joint was in so tight and rusty and whatever. It's typical of the truck. This is what I expected for the whole thing, but not quite as bad. This thing was so bad that I couldn't show you the other two ways I was going to do it, with a C-clamp and then with a vise. Honestly, the best way to have done this would have been to use a press, a hydraulic press, which I don't own. If I had a hydraulic press, I could have pressed them right out and pressed the new ones in. That's the easiest way to do it, but most people don't own a hydraulic press. So I had to go back to the way I just showed you with the hammers and stuff, but if you notice, I'm playing this through and fast forward so you can at least see what I went through with this. I didn't use the regular hammer. I had to get Melner out and wail away on this sucker. I bent the drive shaft too, but I dented it. I don't think it's hurt it, because when I put it in, it seems to run fine. So unfortunately, the other two ways I was going to show you that supposedly would have been easier weren't. Like I said, you know, famous last words. The front one came apart really, really easy, and the back one fought me the whole time. It kicked my butt. I won, but it kicked my butt. So this is what I had to do. Like I say, I'm just going to fast forward through it, and then we'll get to reinstalling this, because the method is the same. I just had to get more forceful with it. Well, it's the next day. It's been raining. of course, this is something. Let me know if you've seen it. Now, if you notice, see, this thing's spring loaded. Now, I got this thing so that the spring is not pulled back. It's tensioned all the way up. If I take this off, the grease is going to explode out of it. No, it didn't. Have y'all ever seen this? This stuff's hard as a rock. I mean, not hard as a rock, but it's so hard that it won't come out of the tube. Let's just pull this back here. Okay. And the tube out of there. Dang it. So it won't even come out of the grease gun. You pump and pump and pump, pump and pump and pump, and it won't come out of the grease gun. So, if you all have ever seen that, do me a favor, comment down below. I'm just curious about it. I mean, granted, it's nearly done, but honestly, it should have. It shouldn't have been a problem. So I got a new tube. This is old Lucas Red and Tacky. I like this grease. Kind of a multi-purpose. It works on a lot of stuff. Yeah, see that? Look, did you see how that came out of there? The stuff here is, you know, it's guppy, like it's supposed to be. And you can take, if you've never seen these, then you take that off there. I'll cap that other one off with it, but then there's your grease, and this plunger goes up in there and pushes on it. I'm gonna pop that in there like that. And there it is. I'm gonna clean this out first. Yeah, even if I just use my finger. So this stuff is really, really super thick. I don't know. I'll make sure this stuff will go through here. So I'm gonna make sure this stuff goes through here. I wanna give it a little brake clean there. Just want to get some of that cleaned out of there. It's really hard to get it out of there. Doesn't want to go. Hopefully that'll be good enough. Pop that back on there. Do this and let that loose. See, this will go in there just to get it out of your way. The spring is pushing up against the thing. So. Theoretically, I should be able to get some of the air out of it this way. There, now we're pumping, but I want to pump its junk out of there first. All right, now we're down to the new grease. Good deal. So I want to pump some grease into this U-joint before I actually put it on. If you can only do this when it's out of the truck, if it's one that's in both sides. If you have one like I was talking about, the 65 Mustang, where it has a U-bolt that holds the cap into the rear, you can't do that until you actually put the drive shaft in, because otherwise the grease will just push the caps out. So the caps aren't going anywhere in here. All right, so now that I've got the stupid grease gun working, I'll pop it on here. Then if I get it on all the way, here, that, there. Now, see, the grease is going in there, but it's not coming out yet. I feel it. And grease stopped moving. I got more grease in there, but not enough because it'll pop out of here. Why did the grease stop moving? That's a good question. Yep. Stop bigger than anything. Grease gun's being a pain. I'll junk off of there. At the moment it's pumping again. Let's see what happens. So I see the grease is barely coming out these caps. I'd like to see it come out a little more. Just me. There we go. All right, now we got grease coming out here, and this is the thinner stuff. It's a little thicker. Got grease coming out here. So now I know there's plenty of grease in this sucker here, and it's just flopping around like nobody's business, which is what I want. Flip it around, we can do the same thing on this side. Grease fitting, pop it on there. Ah, dang it. There. There it goes. Alright. Now we got plenty of grease on this side here. If you see, there's the grease that came with coming out of there. Now this stuff here is a lot thinner than this stuff here. Yep. I like this red and tacky stuff. Clean this up a little bit. Like I say, most of it's gonna fling off it anyway, so no biggie there. But I like to get the bulk of it off there. Now like that. Okay. Finally, stupid thing's ready to go in. Why this side fought me so bad, I have no clue. The front side was a piece of cake, but this thing kicked my butt. I mean, I kicked its butt because I won, but, you know. All right, let's get this thing in the car, in truck, whatever. Just aim in a car or a truck, doesn't matter. U-joints are U-joints, yep. Clean this off so you can see. Make sure it focuses in on it. I'm trying to anyway. Now, see that says Ford? That's original. Now, if you notice, there's a hole there, there's a hole on all of them. And what happens is the grease goes in between them. When you got the grease fitting on it, you pump it in here and it goes out all those holes and fills those caps. And that's what you want. So this end here, some of them are keyed, some of them are not. This was not. Like I said, this is splined right here, and it matches the splines in here. If it's keyed, it'll be just a flat spot somewhere. You just have to line it up. So we just need to get that on there. I did get a new seal for it, and it's the wrong size. So I'm gonna have to go over this again. Get that in there. Slides right up like that. And that's what you got right there. That's it. Nothing to it. All right, I usually like to put these up with these bolts in with red Loctite. I can't find any. I got blue. Definitely want to put thread locker on these because you don't want them coming loose. So I'm just going to put a couple drops right there. Now we can pull this up. I'll situate myself here. And I'm going to put it in the same holes it was in. So that would be these right here. There. It's going to fall right on there like that. And I'm going to get that started. Like I said, I don't have the right size ratchet wrench, but I can use an odd one just to get it snugged down a little bit, and then we'll come back after it with a regular wrench and make sure everything's good and tight. So I'm just going to snug this one in just to hold everything. Now I'll put the other four in after I put a little blue Loctite on. Like I said, I would prefer red, but I don't have any. Okay. And drip that everywhere on the damn boat. Last one here. And everywhere on the damn boat. My dang hole. Alright, let's tighten them all up. Much as I can with this. I need to find the proper size. I think it was a 13. Got it right here. And we torque it down precisely to German torque, which is good and tight. Like I said, don't follow me. I don't do everything right. At least not the way the manufacturer says. If I got these good and tight, I ain't going nowhere. But you should find the torque specs
and you should torque it correctly. That is my advice to you. I'm just some dumb redneck in his driveway. That's it. And at that.
If you like to see more suspension stuff, this is ball joints right here. And you might like this one too, but this drive shaft, the U-joint, this is done. See ya.